Okay. But when we get to some of the later stuff, we're going to just kind of, well, we can take some time if we need.
Well, I mean,
Folks, we're going to get ready to go into the meeting. So I call this meeting to order. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's all stand for the pledge of brief moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, everyone. So, first item is to approve the agenda. We have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, the same. Unanimous. Brett, safety minute and cool moment.
All right, safety moment is to remember Indiana 811 and call before you dig. I read a statistic the other day, and I don't exactly remember what it said, but basically the amount of cut lines, whether it's cutting into fiber, cutting into electric, cutting into some utility, has gone up like tenfold in the last 5 years. So anyways, just a safety minute to remember if you're going to dig to call 811.
Do you know, I got to ask this question, because do they only check, I mean, into the house or barn or whatever, or do they check from there to a?
It depends on the utility. It depends on the utility. So like for us, we're going to go to the meter, but if you've got something going from the meter outside the back of the meter to a barn that's over next door, we don't even know it, right?
Right.
And so that's for electric, but for some of the other utilities,
So would 811 check that?
Yeah. For you mean for like, so they will not check, 811 will not check stuff that they consider as the homeowners. So in other words, coming out of the back of the meter going to your barn, they will not know.
Gotcha. That's okay.
So like we have a gas line that runs through the well with the cemetery from stuff.
And they will never check that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stop and say, hey, you got to pull up. Really good.
All right. Oh, you want me to keep going?
Sure.
All right. Cool moment. One is that our couple of our apprentice and a couple of our seasoned guys participated in Lyman Rodeo. So thought that you guys can kind of see here, but Caleb he's our apprentice. He was first place in Hurt Man Rescue, first place in the egg climb, second place overall apprentice. So out of all, and there's hundreds of these guys, he got second place overall. So I thought that was awesome. Colin participating, got second in skill climb. Joe participated as a journeyman lineman. Evan was third overall apprentice. So we got second and third overall apprentice, which I thought was really cool. Second thing I wanted to read really quickly. Actually, I'm just going to pass this around instead of reading this whole paragraph. Last month when we asked the DC tour folks to participate, and one could not, and the other one obviously did. The other one wanted to, Catherine Bradshaw wanted to submit something to the board about her thoughts. So I'm just going to send this around, or I can email it to you guys all too, instead of reading it. Like I was planning on.
That was nice, and congratulations to the employees of the rodeo. Okay, next item then is for your information. Everybody's had a chance to review, but if you want to look at it a little closer, now's the time to ask questions.
have a question, Steve. I'm gonna defer to Matt. Since it's
Okay.
Page 12 of the check register, ACH register.
I know exactly what you're about. But
I just see a nice round amount on there about the expenditure down.
Yep.
Not questioning it, I just don't understand.
The CP Tavern?
No.
ACH register. Page 12. Was the one that, when I paid for the fiber railroad crossings on my personal credit card because they required, they didn't take American Express.
Yeah.
I figured it was maybe that simple.
That happens with our notaries too.
Yep.
Notaries.
It's just American Express, not that big of an amount. Yeah.
He comes to me and says, is it okay if I put this on a personal because they don't take this and we need to get this done. So,
Yeah.
good question.
Yep. Hey, thanks.
He got paid back.
It points to.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's some of with everything.
It was either that or wait until send them an ACH and wait. It was, and this week they actually were able to get fiber across the road.
Anyone have anything else? Any additional questions for your review, your information? All right, so let's go to the next item of approving the July meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
We have a first?
Sure.
We have a second? And Jason. All in favor, say aye. Oppose the same. It's unanimous. All right, Brett, you're up next with the operational strategic oversight update, CEO update.
So yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go into executive session. There are two topics, one being confidential, notice from IBO that has to be
Okay.
in executive.
All right. So at this time, we'll be going into executive session.
I can figure out how to do it.
Just want to hang the main line.
Got it. All right, we're headed back into open session.
All right, we got the project leader here, but I'm gonna go ahead with the update. Sure. She can answer all the questions. So from our RF meter project, she has done the integration. So we actually hung some of these meters out on the Morton building. They did test outages and disconnects successfully. All 60 DC units are installed in the field. There are 2 towers that we're working on with Hoosier, or actually a comms company, but they're Hoosier towers that we have to get put up still. Deployment was originally August, now it's September, but we're still way in front of the schedule. You guys saw the action item that the amount she did go and check and see is the value similar, it is similar. But I think after all the rough roads with the vendor, we're getting there on this. So I don't know if I left anything out, Crystal.
No, it's been a heck of a project. I said I will never do it again. Next time meters need replaced, operations is doing it.
She told me, she said, if we have to do meters by the time I'm retired, so.
I'm leaving. It's been fine. I mean,
She's been a trooper.
It's-
She has.
there's been a lot of ups and downs with this project, but we are on track. We were going to start at the end of August, but one of our meter guys on vacation that first week of September, and I did not want to bring a crew in to be changing meters if we had one of our guys missing. So we're going to start when he gets back. So September 8th, they will be on site. We will do 10 meters that day just to change them out, make sure that the upload file comes through the next day. Everything processes okay with NISC. Make sure everything reads, because we don't want to go out and start changing 100 a day and then, oh, wait a minute,
Something's wrong.
these aren't working. So we will do 10 on the 8th, and then after that, as long as everything works, they're saying about 100 a day. So 6 to 8 weeks.
Can it be spread out?
They'll probably just do one area.
I know you're testing out the different towers and.
No, we know those are communicating. We can see them on the system. It's just the file. So when we did this in 2007, we had to manually meter exchange every single one on the account. That was my job for a year and a half when I first started, was meter exchanges. Every day I had to hand key every single one. This one now, thankfully, they have advanced, and it's a file. So it's just an import file. I get it every morning. I go through and do a batch upload. It goes through and does all the exchanges automatically on the system. Simple. Take 30 seconds instead of us having to manually, which will also prevent errors from keying things in. But when they're here, we'll be able to get, like Brett said, the service descriptions. You know, what are we actually serving? Because some things we know just from, if it was a new service that got put in for a barn, we had that noted on the service order. But if it's things that have been out there for a really long time, we don't really know. We can guess by looking at the usage. You know, oh, we think this is a grain bin because they have high usage 2 times out of the year, but we don't really know. So they are going to document what it serves, and then they're actually going to do a GPS coordinates of where the actual meter is located, just for the mapping side, so they can import that in. So it'll be good. I think I will be very glad when I'm finished with this though.
How many people does it take to change 100 meters per day?
I think they're gonna have 3 on site.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
Moving.
And how many do we have to change overall?
8,300. So 6 to 8 weeks is what they're saying. So I'm like, because obviously like the apartments, they can probably do
Oh,
150
more
to
than-
200, that, you know, because they're all right there together. But, you know, yeah. But I mean, it's moving. So
good.
I still don't have an answer back on if I'm going to get any money back from my sales tax, but
Oh, okay.
I'm trying. I'm arguing. In the fine print, because, you know, that's what they pointed out to me was, well, it's in the fine print. Well, in the fine print, it also has some other things that I've had to pay for. So when I'm done with this project, we're going to reevaluate that fine print with actuals from our budget. So hopefully we get something back.
Any other questions?
Thanks, Chris. Meter poll replacement, I haven't talked about this in a while, except for last time we came. That's really rude. So we are done with 45 out of 125, so we're actually making quite a bit of progress. So 45 of our complete out of 125, so we have 18 in process. So we are moving along on those. Actually, we've had 2. Dale, you even had one, I think. Someone asked about it and have a pretty good experience. We feel like Art's doing a really good job. That was one of our risks here, was we have
To confirm, because I am.
that we have a company out there that's not a DCRMC employee. They're doing a really good job. So they are making progress. Chris is here on this one too, if you have any questions, but I don't remember if I told you guys or not, but when we did the fiber thing, Crystal and Sam got together and asked them to sort of figure out what we needed to do with fiber stuff, right? Well, what they found out is CRC doesn't support the fiber projects right now as far as troubleshooting after hours. So they did kind of an extensive search on some solutions. And so 9-Star Greenwood, which is another co-op next to us, has a division of a 9-Star that does after hours. And so they do the electric business and they do the fiber business, so that we don't have to do a calling tree. When they call, they're going to get somebody, they're pretty much local, right? And the nice thing is, and she can explain this probably back in, but they have the same system as us, and so they can create service orders and things that CRC today can't do. So we feel like we're going to have a better experience overall when it comes to our hours. And right now we're planning on sometime in September to be
September 4th,
September 4th.
we go live, 4 o'clock.
And that's to convert to the electric.
Yeah, electric, everything will go there. It'll be really nice. They have they're going to be a user just like me as an employee. Because they already use NISD and they use Connect, so
Sure.
they're already familiar with everything. So we just give them access to our system, and then they don't even have to really say that they're not Decatur County REMC, because they can do everything that we can do. Pinging their outages, putting their information in. If somebody wants an update to their phone number, they can just do it all instead of sending us emails and then we have to update it later. And then they can do troubleshooting. So if somebody does call in for a fiber outage, CRC would have had to take a note, send it to us, and then we would have had to reach out the next day, where they can log into the system. They can actually walk through the troubleshooting portal with them, go through all the steps, and then send it to tier 2 if it needs to be. So there will be it's just like talking to us during the day.
Way more efficient.
So we're pretty excited about it.
Great.
Yeah.
Another crystal one. September 4th is also the bill print is going to change. So we changed the bill print for fiber and some other things, and then capital credit retirements are going to happen on that same bill. So just a heads up.
We could not keep our current bill print with fiber. Once fiber comes a whole new animal, and there's going to be certain areas that are dedicated just to the fiber piece. So we had to do a full redesign again. It's not, I say it's not drastically different, but it kind of is. There's a lot more space. I do not have a good, I wanted to show you guys what it looks like before it went out, but I don't have a good example yet because we're still working through a few little kinks that they don't have quite ironed out yet. But there's a whole section on the left-hand side of the bill that's a blank space. So where today we have to spend money on doing bill inserts every month, this section is an image section. So instead of doing bill inserts, we can change that and we can use that whole entire area for a specific image. You can do it by provider. So if we've got people that are gas only, we can put that image in there and our rate changes. We can use that image for anybody that has gas only would see this image for the new pricing. If it's a fiber only customer, you can specifically market things to them. If it's all of them, then obviously they get all of it. The back is just going to have all 3 providers, just like we do today. If somebody has Viasat, it's the same. And then on the back, there's actually another image section on the bottom that we can use. So you can actually have 2 different images that you want to use. If you want to display it's like the summary that we have that describes what a service charge is. If you don't want that there for some month because you want to mark it auto pay, you can take it off for 1 month and then mark it something else that you want to make sure people see. And then you can put it back the next month. So it's really interactive compared to what we have today. But there's some things that I don't love that I can't change, but I just have to live with it. But it is very similar to what we have today.
You brought it up and we talked about it for a long time.
The what?
Viasat.
Yeah.
So what are you doing? What are you guys gonna do?
Yeah, good question, because that's
So-
the same thing.
If they are able to get our fiber, we're not letting them stay on Viasat. Well, number one, because it would be done for them because they would be paying less to go with our fiber than they would for Viasat. So we have had one person so far that was a Viasat customer that we switched over to fiber. We do have a guy right now who's trying to sign up for Viasat. I don't understand.
I get it, I did.
I mean, I don't understand. But Ron, our installer, he hurt his back a couple weeks ago, and so he is not able to do installs. So we're kind of on a hold anyway right now. But if they can get our fiber, they are not getting Viasat. Those are going away. But if they can't get another option, I feel like we still have to.
So there could still be some
Provide it.
pockets of folks that aren't gonna get him fiber and maybe still need
Yeah.
Viasat. We're
Yeah.
just gonna-
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I had Viasat, I didn't get hit with our fiber.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah.
Right.
So how many current members do we have?
I think it's around like 115. It's not. It's a little bit.
Yeah.
But we have dropped off a lot. I mean, when Starlink came available to a lot of people switched to Starlink. So it is dwindling, but I'm not buying new equipment. I mean, we've got, I think, nine Trias for the new, 9 for the old, about the same for modems. I'm not buying anything new. Hopefully we don't have to ever again. But yeah, Viasat's still there. Just hopefully slowly it can disappear. But, and then of course Capital Credit Retirement. I ran them Monday night, so they will be on the bill for the 4th, on September 4th. So it'll show up on everybody's bill. So $960,000 was the amount. So, and then allocations, I will work on allocations for next month, because I don't like to do them on the same bill. It gets a little messy, so usually try to do one month and the next month do the other.
Good. Keep moving, Steve.
Sure.
All right, so July metrics. So July obviously was warm. Temperature was about 5.1% on the 5-year average. So it was warm. CCD, so cooling degree days, we were at 406. The 5-year average was 261. So it was actually hotter than the new one. It was miserable. But good for what you're getting ready to see. Our energy was up 7.3% over our 5 years. And interesting enough, our demand really was kind of flat, 0.1%. So honestly, if you want to see, this is exactly what you want. The average demand with very high use from a utility business, that's what you see. And so retail sales, you can see essentially transmission and residential pretty much picked up the load, although commercial and industrial was still everyone was.
I don't know what industrial did come back quite a bit.
Yeah, so
That's why it's.
and then if you look at from last month to this month, overall, we went from 1.91, so basically 2% above budget, to 3.74. So made a pretty big dent. Reliability, it was actually a pretty quiet month, really. So we were pretty flat on number of outages, and then we were down a little bit of lost consumer hours. And that is it really for metrics. There wasn't a whole lot else to go. Matt?
In general, a balance sheet, you can see the letters there. We had last month, which I stated, we had a bunch of, borrowed a bunch of money, and we paid our CP right at the end. Right at the beginning of the month, so that was changed there. Bills got paid, liabilities went down, and the cash went down. B, as it has been, we're the fiber and the RF meter project are showing up in the other deferred debits. So that's really the main things when it came to the balance sheet. And any other questions on the balance sheet? Next, we have our income statement and margins. So we got the top line there, our AB is our higher than budgeted revenue. Plus, you can see in there that the one note is the other is over. That includes the full contacts and the full contact application fees. As we get expenses for those, for the full contact applications fees, we're going to apply them against that. So that number, the gross margin variance will decrease as that stuff moves along. Everything else is pretty much right in line. I mean, there's not really anything that's wildly out of whack. I didn't believe. So, any questions on the income statement? And then lastly, our cash. As I said earlier, we paid bills. That's why it went down a bunch. So, I mean, pretty self-explanatory there. Next, we have plant. Not a huge amount went into plant this past month. Some additional poles, some, as always, new services, few meters and transformers. Most of the RF meter project is showing up, as I said, that other deferred. Once those start going live, we will start to capitalize that project. Depending on how they install stuff, we may, as they complete a substation, allocate a certain percentage by substation, or we may do the same as they did last time, just like X meters installed, that's the percentage, and that's how much we capitalize for that month. So I'll get, Jenny and I will probably talk to Crystal once they start installing, and we'll make a decision as to how we want to put that through, because it's brought us this fall. So other than that, there's not really a whole lot from a plant standpoint. Big jump was the prior month as we got all the invoices for the pole replacements.
So the vehicle,
That is a payment on a chassis that is now, I believe, sitting until we get all of the bucket put on it. I believe that one's.
So we didn't know we were going to end up having to pay for the chassis when we did. You guys approved it in the budget. We figured it was coming in next year because we won't get the truck until next year. That's the right one, right?
Yeah, we bought the chassis because it came in, and then we'll get it. It's now sitting there, and once they get through the queue, then they'll put the thing bucket on.
The lead times on these trucks aren't getting any better. I mean, it's 3 years.
well, and then your other,
That is multiple things. Some of it is the training full yard out back. There's but there wasn't anything budgeted. Other.
I'll take an action. I don't know.
I can get you exactly what that. I know that's some of it. I think there's a couple things. What's with that? I don't think anything got added.
I'll take an action. We'll break it down.
You good, Matt?
Yeah. Any other?
Any other questions for Matt? We are gonna go back just, what did I say, a little bit. Brett, is gonna
I skipped right
talk
over
a
it.
little bit about risk register.
Yeah, so I'm going to brief over this. If you have any questions, just stop me. So we try to meet every quarter, every other quarter. We go over our risk register. So you can see we've updated 1, 2, 3 risk. We closed 1, 2, 3, 4 risk, and we added 1, 2, 3, 4. After all that we went through, it is the view of management that appropriate mitigations are in place to maintain operations within acceptable threshold. And then I also attached the risk register. It shows the closed ones and updates that we've made. Yeah, I'm going to go to the RDUS. So every year, not every year, every so often we have to update. We have to do a resolution to update. And so what this does is it allows me to be the certifier, Jenny to be a secondary certifier, and Matt to be the administrator for their system they call RD Apply intake system. So basically what it is it's the board allows me, Matt, and Jenny to certify our Form 7s and to certify certain loan documents through RUS. So it's a pretty standard resolution that we have to do every so often. And so we will need a motion and approval to allow myself and Jenny to be the certifiers and Matt to be an administrator. So typically what happens is Matt is the preparer and Jenny and I are the certifiers. And I'm not sure why they still make the board approve this, but I thought they were streamlining some things, but they still do. And then Steve, I put a copy over there that we'll need signatures.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, first, do you have a second? Brian, second? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, the same. Okay, unanimous. You're good, right?
Yes.
You sign it. Let's go to the next item. I know last month, Brad, you made us aware of a few things.
Yep.
That need some work done and you can share with us what your
Yeah.
findings are.
So we went to Dunlap and asked, so there is 3 windows, Crystal being one, that leak when it rains, and I'm sure it's doing damage behind the panels that we can't see. And then there is a door in operations that you could probably open with your pinky because it's so rusted out. And then there's a door in the hallway that we had a safety near miss where rain somehow gets in through the door when it rains right, and it puddles up there on that slick concrete. And so, and then I forgot the front door. The threshold and concrete is moving, so something needs to happen there. And so we had Dunlap come look at those. They gave us a quote back that I think all of us sort of in leadership dropped our mouths. And we also kind of questioned instead of putting in a new door, they wanted to put up some type of like awning, which was going to cost way more than just replacing the door. And so we had a bunch of questions. We thought it was high enough price where we need to get some more quotes. And so I think it ended up being like 30-something grand. So I'm just giving you an update. I will bring back some updated quotes, but I'm letting you know now that this building, we need to keep up on stuff like
Sure.
that. And it's going to come through, and I don't know how else to budget for stuff like this. So I'm bringing it to you because it's not budgeted. That's the only reason. But my push is going to be we do these things because it's just regular building maintenance.
Okay.
Fair enough?
Sounds fair. Are we good with that? All right, so we'll see that next month.
May not get one.
The next item is something we talked about last month as well. It's policy 1A, director fees and expenses. We talked through some changes last month related to the retainer fees, and if you earn a CCD, you'll get 25 extra. If you earn the BLC, you'll get 50 extra, and if you get the gold credential and maintain it, you'll get 75 extra. So the wording is in there. So we'll need a motion to approve. The only thing I ask at this point, do we want to make it effective immediately? Meaning we wouldn't have to make any changes here, and I guess it would be impactful for today's meeting. Or do we want to wait till the first of the year or next month? I mean, I think the question was raised last month that it really wasn't going to have a major impact on the budget, on the director's budget. So if we're good with it as is, I would say it would be immediately modified. But have any thoughts on that?
This, I see was that the direct shoes successfully please when you go on to be something or saying that it is not a requirement. So really the requirement is the CCP, right?
Yeah, and of course that's another plot. Sure.
Should be something that, do you want to?
I don't think it's necessary because we have it in policy that you have to get your CCD within the first 2 years. So that we've covered it there, Carl, but I don't know that we need to add anything else. So you don't have to pursue it. It's basically stated here. If you do pursue it and earn it, then you will get the additional. Pardon me?
It does
Yeah.
indicate it.
Suzanne, what do you think? Want to go into?
We all discussed it.
But go into effect immediately or wait till another? Do you have any thoughts on that? Just approve, okay. And let's make a motion for the changes then.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, get a first? Got a second? All in favor, say aye. Opposed, the same. Okay, that's approved. The next item has to do with any training that directors have gone to, or conferences. I know that Dale and Steve and myself all went to the director's retreat. Do we have anybody else that participated in
Mine.
yours is in September? Anybody else that participated in anything this last month? Okay. All right, so Dale and Steve, had a couple takeaways from the retreat.
Both classes on BLC Friday with Kevin Sump. I mean, I've always liked him as a instructor. It geared more towards somebody like Jason, director on a GMP, but I did learn, how more involved the GMT is versus just generation and transmission, that there's more things that they do for the co-ops as a whole. So, and then the Singletary, another good speaker. Yeah, he stressed a lot about board reviews and even suggested monthly, every meeting, that we should do some type of assessment.
Yeah.
You know,
So to piggyback what you said, he did give the Hoosier directors, well, not just Hoosier, but Wabash as well, kudos for being directors. So for GNT, so kudos to you, Jason. To piggyback what Steve mentioned about Brian Singletary, he always does a great job, in my opinion. He's easy to listen to and relate with. One thing he stressed, or at least that I thought he stressed had to do with vision. Now, I know we've talked a little bit about vision here in the past, about maybe having a written vision, but he said it's really the director's responsibility to talk about the future. What do you see the REMC looking like in 5 years, in 10 years, 3 years? So I would like to start considering putting something on the agenda that we just talk through a few things to see what everybody's thinking about from a vision perspective. So I'm if you guys don't think that's a good idea, I'd certainly like to hear that. But I do want a placeholder on the agenda for talking a little about vision as we go forward, because he did stress it.
Steve and I talked about it a little bit too, and so I've kind of been working on whether you approve a vision or not. We have to have guidance, and so we've been working off of visions, and so we've completed one back in 2019 because the vision is going to drive the strategy, which is going to drive what we do every day. So whether you guys approve it or not, we have to have it, and so I think that's good for you guys to see the history of what we've been doing because it led to fire. And I also think that, when I was hired, there were certain things that were looked for, and my team's working on today as far as what the future looks like in the vision that we're working on today. And so I told Steve I thought it'd be a good idea to take a kind of a history of what we've done, where we've been with vision, strategy, and where we're heading, and to see if we're aligned or not.
Sure. And I think we'll start that, next month and just go through that. And then from there, we'll just kind of proceed throughout. So, Dale, you got anything to add? You agree?
No, the BLC class on Friday was about the relationships between distribution at the GMT tonight. The one comment that I remember specifically hearing was that while there's a only a defined amount of energy out there, that the transmission of the energy is a big issue, because I think I remember them saying that there's only like 4 sets of that can transfer it home from the eastern part of the United States to the western part of the United States. So while you may have the capacity sitting somewhere, the ability to move it to somewhere else is bottlenecked in some respect. So I thought that was good. They did give kudos to, especially with the Hoosier board of directors. And then Brian Singletary, obviously talked a lot about vision. It's not our responsibility to do operations. That's part. We have oversight, operational oversight, but we depend on these people to do it, which we're fortunate to have the caliber of the people we have. But
Sure.
he did talk a lot about vision. Talked about the necessity of looking, 3 years, 5 years out. And thing I always noticed with Brian is he always has practical experiences to bring it home. He's talking about when he's living in Arizona, and he's got, his network is pretty ridiculous of people who do whatever, but it's always got a practical application. I think it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So,
I think the intent is to have another retreat next year about the same time. Not certain where it will be. I was pleased with the Fort Wayne venue, but I know a lot of people, I think, enjoyed Prince Lick a little bit more so. So it'll be interesting to see how that transpires, but we'll know more when that decision's made. All right, no one else had anything else, right? So the next item then has to do with affiliated organizations. Brian, you got anything? Jason, you got anything?
We had a retreat, board directors only, the CEOs weren't allowed to go this time. And you'll be proud to know that I represented you well, and we are the cornhole champions.
Oh, wow. Did we get a prize for that?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, we had a couple days retreat. They were short days. Brad Kitchens was there. He's a consultant that we've used a lot in the past, G&T World. He made a presentation, and Kelly Trice, who I may have mentioned before, who works for Holtec, who is heading up the restart of Palisades nuclear facility. Yeah, he was there and gave an update on what's happening in Palisades. I'm not going to worry with all the details, but he had a really good presentation. But the takeaway for you guys is that September, they're ahead of schedule and under budget.
Oh, wow.
The fuel is going to be delivered in September. And it's possible that that thing will be generating New Year's and Christmas. That's possible. That's
Christmas to New Year's, yeah.
Yeah, like in that time
Right.
frame, that's kind of what he's targeting. So if that happened, that would be remarks. So we're really excited.
And what kind of output will we get at that point?
Pardon?
What kind of output will there be at that point?
It'll be right away. It'll be the full,
Oh, okay.
yeah, right away. It's not like a
Right, like they had, okay.
big startup, weeks. Switch on the wall.
Yeah,
So
it takes two
that was
people.
really good news.
Yeah.
As soon as
One
that
stick.
thing starts generating, we have to take the power.
Okay,
That's an agreement. So, but that's okay.
that's a good, yeah, that's a good thing.
So that was.
We did have an IEC board meeting a week ago from today. And by the way, that's when I started getting sick, so I've been sick for a week, but it's another story. So let's see what I have here. Randy Cleaving was nominated, and it was the only nomination for the NRECA rep. So he'll continue. He's been doing that for a while. He'll continue with that for the next. I got to verify that. I think it's for 3 more years, but I could be wrong. It may just be 1. So he's kind of our liaison there to the NRECA. We did have Senator Todd Young speak. He came and Ryan, he spoke to us for probably half an hour, and there were questions that people could ask along the way. He was at the legislative conference and didn't give us a lot of time per se at that time, but there were a few questions from the floor, not necessarily related to electrical items, but how he felt about FEMA, where he is on FEMA. And he's like, I need to see more. So he was kind of vague on the answer, along with citizenships for illegals. Is he opposed, or is he okay with considering that here in Indiana? There were some things talked about. The DC Youth Tour took place in June, I think it was. I think they had about 60 students from across the state of Indiana, and they all had a good time. The annual meeting is on the 8th and 9th of December, so that'll, we'll put that on your calendars now. That'll be here before we know it. And as of now, that's it. So does anybody have anything else related to anything before we adjourn? You good? Take a motion for adjournment. Okay, we are adjourned. We are going into executive session for a brief period of time.